If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's August 28, 2020, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the US dollar tumbles across the board. But first, let's take a look at the economic events of the day. So a couple of events happening today, starting at 3:05 South African time out of Great Britain. Bank of England Governor Baily will be speaking. And then all day as yesterday, we have the Jackson Hole Symposium. Not much to affect the markets. And yesterday we did mention that Powell spoke and it did affect the market. So like I say always, you want to know these events are coming out. Now looking at the markets, the dollar weakens and against everything. The British pound and the euro both explode versus the US dollar. And looking at the indices, the NASDAQ trades on its highs, not retracing, while the Dow Jones actually breaks out to 28,700-ish level. That means we're only about 700 points from our all-time highs that we hit last February. Is it a fake out? We're going to take a look. Now looking at the commodities, gold is trading in a range and oil is pretty much unchanged. And lastly, looking at the stock, the rotation continues. Tech stocks sell off, including Facebook and Amazon, while Walmart surges on a TikTok bid. We're going to take a look at that as well. So let's see what we can expect from today's trading. So looking here at the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart, you could see this surge that we had yesterday, 1811. This is really hard to trade because we were trading in a range, nothing really giving it to us that we're going to be breaking out here. And then boom, this is a technical news event. Okay, so when that happens, it's really hard to catch. Now we are trading at the top of the range, 1870-ish level. We did hit this level once before. If we look at a resistance-ish area, that would be it. So considerably, if we don't break above it, we should be able to retrace, okay, because this is kind of like a news event. Now this is all on the back of the fact that Powell was speaking yesterday. That's the central Bank of the United States, who's the chairman. So with that said, across the board, we saw the dollar actually weaken. If we look at the GBP USD as well, broke above this 132.33-ish level. And so this is quite important. Now we are on that secondary resistance-ish level, but what seems to be more inclined that we will continue going up is that before that we had this massive surge upwards. Okay, that's a nice little trend line that we should be able to consider. Now, what was previous resistance is subsequent support, so I do see this 132.33 as a possible support line if this does consider to retrace. Okay, but altogether, the dollar looks like it's making a major correction on the downside as it's gotten weaker. Now, jumping into the gold. Okay, gold has been trading quite in a tight range, and that continues. 1942 is where we're trading an uptick just a little bit, but nothing to really write home about. Oil's pretty much unchanged. However, when we jump to the NASDAQ, we're trading at all-time highs. We hit a high of 12,000 yesterday, didn't break above it, but we're flirting very close to it. Okay, 1994 right now, something about 6-7 points away from 12,000. Now, 12,000 is psychologically a very big number for the NASDAQ, okay? That not just is it a round number, but it's also double of what it was at its all-time session highs. So with that said, I mean, look at that. We went from 6,400-ish level up to 12,000 in a matter of 5 months, okay? Who would have thought between March, April, May, June, July, and now August, this has really made an about face. So with that said, it's really being carried by some of the tech stocks. Now, when we look at the Dow Jones, we did play catch up yesterday. We did rally up here to 28,700-ish level. Just to give us a perspective, let's look at a weekly. We're only about 600 to 700 points from our all-time highs. That is unprecedented. Okay, the fact that we're trading at these intervals still is yet to be seen on how, okay, but it does look like that V formation is finally complete. So I would expect either a sell-off or either a little bit of a retracement going into the first week of September next week. Now looking at the individual stocks, Apple sold down yesterday below $500 a share, And there was profit taking. Okay, there's going to be a lot of resistance about this area right there at $511 down to this area of 487. I think we're going to be just trading in that range for quite some time. Now, looking at some of the other stocks, Facebook also retraced after hitting $300 a share. That's also a massive success story. The fact that Facebook has been able to make this about face. Now, yesterday, there has been two bids between Microsoft and Walmart to take over this TikTok company. And looking at Microsoft, it didn't retrace much. 226 actually look to break out higher. Now, when you get to being these massive companies like Oracle, like Microsoft, you have a lot of cash on hand, okay? And it's very hard for you to grow your business. And the only way that you can grow your business is you buy other businesses, okay? That's the bottom line, okay? Whether you're Amazon, whether you're Microsoft, Facebook, that becomes a new playing field, okay, on how you do business. You no longer rely on your consistent base, okay, but you look for other businesses to buy. And that's exactly what's happening with TikTok right now. And if we do look at Walmart, it did surge yesterday. Look at that, from 130 up to 138, capitulating on 139 and then retracing. So this should still be in play today. I do imagine it'll have some volatility later today. Might not have rhyme or reason, okay, in terms of its direction, but it will have volatility, okay? After all, we are still on an upsurge with Walmart, despite the fact that we're in a pandemic and that, you know, people are spending quote unquote less, okay, because consumption is still consumption and people still have to eat. I do see a little bit of a correctional move there. So with today in mind, we're going to continue having the volatility. Now, looking at JP Morgan, which is another big board stock, trading at 102 above that $100, still trading within that range, okay? So as long as this doesn't break out, I do expect it to play catch up, possibly to hit 114 again. So I would keep this on the radar, okay? Because it, quote unquote, should be trading much higher as the Dow makes higher highs to all-time session highs since the pandemic has started, okay? So with that said, you know, the correctional moves are still there. I'd like to see the tech stocks actually bounce today after having that sell-off yesterday, but that's something to be seen. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day and a beautiful weekend. Thank you.